Like you are. And I think we are live. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Today is not Tuesday, but as a bonus episode for Tuesdays with Dr. T, today I am bringing you one of my very coolest mom friend. She is coolest because every time there is her post, it always makes me giggle. Giggle. Just thinking about it makes me giggle all the time. She is a very down to earth woman. She has been working on her daughter and she has recovered a lot of her daughter's struggles. And she has two kids, right? One girl and one boy.
No, I have two girls.
Two girls, mashallah. I'm sorry for the for the younger. I am most of the time I see the older one. She's just a spitting image of you.
Yes.
So she's Linda KRAMER. She's from Sweden, right?
Sweden, yes.
Sweden, yes, mashallah. So she's living in Sweden. Her previously nonverbal daughter with autistic symptoms is now communicative, curious, and affectionate child. She has implemented a lot of, gluten-free diet and then organic food, grounding, balance. So we are going to be talking a lot of those things, how your journey was, what did you try, what things worked, how did you make the decision and all of those jazz, okay? So would you, for our for our community here, would you just give a little bit of a background of where you are? How did the journey with your child started?
Well, it started, like we were talking a little bit before the live show, that it actually started already when I was pregnant. I had a really stressful pregnancy. I was working in a job that I didn't like, and we found out that my daughter had a heart defect during my pregnancy. So it was really stressful. And then I carried her to term, but she was very tiny. She was only 2.5 kilos. So we had to stay in the hospital because they wouldn't let us go before she gained weight. But like looking back, I can see that there were signs all along the way. So like she was very tiny. She didn't want to eat, which then turned into a picky eater. She didn't want to be held. Like she was actually crying for us to put her down so she could sleep in her crib. And we were, both me and my husband were like, but babies are supposed to like want
Love
to
the
like
cuddles and everything.
yeah, like they want to be cuddled and they want to sleep on you. And she literally cried until we put her down in the crib. And then it just progressed with not mimicking, not talking, not walking until she was
first determined.
What?
Her age. What was her age when you first determined and saw those changes? Is it from birth onwards?
Yeah, I mean, from birth. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there was something wrong. There was something off all the time. And since she was our first child, we didn't have anything to compare to. And everyone around us kept reassuring us that, oh, she's just behind. She's just behind. She's going to catch up. But I kind of saw that, she never caught up. She just came further and further behind. And yes, she was completely nonverbal until she was 4 years old, which is like, I have a hard time saying it because I was like, I don't understand how I managed 4 years without even hearing her say mommy. But then around when she was 4, we went to all these specialists and things, and they said, oh, you should talk to a psychologist. And we were like, well, we don't get why. And they're like, yeah, it could be good. So we went to a psychologist with our daughter, and she basically said, yes, we are here today because we suspect your daughter has autism. And both me and my husband looked like deers in headlights because nobody said those words to us. So she's like, you didn't know? We were like, no. And so even though there were so many signs and we knew things were off, hearing the word autism still, like, it was a shock. It was a shock. And then she received her diagnosis at age 5, just after her 5th birthday. So it must have been exactly like 4 years ago. And I remember the doctor that gave us the diagnosis, she said, there's nothing you can do. you should just prepare for, you know, special needs school, and that she can never live by herself. And I was just thinking, oh my God, I can't, how can you determine that from a 5-year-old? Like, how can you decide her life is over? And I was like, I'm not going to accept that. So I went into this frantic mode. I'm not a very patient person. I can say that. So I frantically did all the things. All like I went on Facebook and Instagram and blog posts, and it was other moms, mainly other moms, that helped me, that said, I've done this with my child and that helped. I've done that with my child and that helped. So I took her to a functional medicine clinic in Copenhagen. Mm-hmm. And the reason I couldn't take her to a functional medicine clinic in Sweden is because Sweden has this law. You're not allowed to treat children under 8 with alternative treatments. And alternative treatments is functional medicine, it's homeopathy, it's neuropaths, it's like
everything that is actually good for your child.
Everything that's actually good for her, I couldn't do. So I had to be creative. And if it's something I am, I'm creative. I'm a problem solver. So what we did is we went to Copenhagen. The clinic said, well, first of all, I took a bunch of tests. We took a bunch of tests. They're very expensive. We got so many supplements and things, but I'm still grateful for us going there, because what they did was they told us that maybe you should go and see a chiropractor. And we were like, what? Never thought about that. Mm-hmm. So we were going to Barcelona for a month, and she said, because they're not, she said, I'm going to find you a really specialist chiropractor in Barcelona that's a specialist in like the neurologist, the development and the body. So, and it was actually an American living in Barcelona. We went there 7 times during this month. And first time we were there, he said, oh, there's something in her neck. And he showed us with like a flashlight. You could see her pupils didn't dilate in the same speed. Like and then he showed the different reflexes. And so he said, can you see there's an imbalance between her brain halves? And we were like, yes, it was so clear. So we went there 7 times. And after we've been there for those 7 times, he did that again. And you could see that the imbalance wasn't there anymore. He did say, I fixed it, but it's going to take a long time for her to heal and for the nerves to start functioning again. Mm-hmm. And also what we did was Bianca's intestines just like were destroyed. We figured out that she was gluten intolerant. Mm-hmm. So we had to stop gluten. And then for a while, because her intestines were so bad, we also had to stop dairy, because she was reacting to the dairy, because she had a very leaky gut. So actually the dairy made her high because she had those holes in her intestines. So we like looking back, there's so many things we're looking back. We're like, we could tell that she was high because she loved dairy. Like she was craving it, and she was never feeling cold. She didn't feel pain. And she always like, we couldn't really get like her attention. She was just like looking at us.
In a bubble.
Yeah, she was in a bubble. And I mean, everyone with a special needs child, we're struggling with different things. My child she's always been a good sleeper. She's never been like having massive tantrums or being aggressive, but she was like nonverbal. She put everything in her mouth. She was in her, like, she didn't mimic anything. She was just restless. She didn't have any interest. She wasn't interested in games or playing or toys or other friends or something. She was just running around, like jumping on the furniture, destroying things. Yes, she destroyed so many things. Yeah. So yes, so I've tried so many things. Not all the things I did worked. It could have been that they didn't work because it was the wrong time, or they just didn't work.
I want to
Sure.
extrapolate those things that you said right now, because it's very important. The thing is, sometimes when a lot of our students, our clients, or moms on just, you know, in the community, they ask like, I have tried so many things and I failed every time, and then they give up. You know, they give up. And even some of my clients, some of my students, even they, let's say they start getting lots of good results, changes and whatnot, and after a few weeks or a few months, maybe things plateaus a little bit, and then they just kind of give up. And then I was like, you know, when I was working with my son, I never gave up. I was like, yes, there was a pause. I would be stressed why there is a pause, like why isn't he improving anymore? Is it the end? Like, is it just
Yes.
the end? Is it that how much that he's gonna be, nothing more? But then that faith, like, let's try another layer. Let's try another layer. So a lot of our parents are, I would say, missing in that mindset piece, okay? To understand what you said just now, pure gold. We tried a lot of things, but everything didn't work, might be because it was not the right time, okay? Or maybe not the right dose, or maybe she had other problems. And then you had the courage and the, I would say, audacity to keep trying on. How did you make those courageous decisions to keep trying on, even though a lot of things were not working?
I just switched things. Like, you know, if things weren't working, but then also, I think it's so hard to see the improvements yourself because you're living in it and you don't see, like nothing changes day by day, but the people that didn't see her day by day, like my dad, for instance, maybe we meet every third month or so. Every time they met her, they were like, oh my God, all the, like, this is what happened. Like, and we were like, what do you mean? So I mean, I kept on persevering and I kept up with the things I felt were working. I maybe changed out the things I felt weren't working. Like, for instance, like when I said we went to the functional medicine practitioner and we got a bunch of supplements. Yeah, but her intestines were destroyed by them. So I was like throwing supplements into a leaky gut. Like,
Exactly. Nothing is going to be actually
not like it's not, she's not picking anything up because it's like it's
exactly.
it's because it's not working. The system's not working. So so yeah, and I also really like what you said, like also like healing is not linear. Like you expect it to always progress, but healing looks like this. And every time, I mean, my daughter has regressed many times. Like, you know, you go 2 steps forward and you go 1 step back, and then you go, you know, you go like, and every time you regressed, I'm like, oh my God, what happened? What did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong?
But if you look at the bigger picture, she always develops. Like it's always forward, even though sometimes it's like side steps or 1 step behind. But overall, she's always improving. And now I've been on, like I've been doing this for 4 years, and like I told you before we started the live, is that we feel like a normal family now. Like this summer and last summer, we had normal vacations. We didn't have to, like, I get teary. I just like, because we didn't have
it's your platform. Keep saying.
We didn't have to be scared that she was going to run away. She understood we were on vacation. Like, you know, she was happy about it, excited about it. And we did all these things and she liked them. Like we had so many summers where she just didn't understand where we were. She didn't understand we were on vacation. She didn't understand, you know, and it's And also my daughter is communicating now. She's not fully like verbal, I would say. She's still speech delayed. But I am so grateful because the difference between having a nonverbal child and a child that communicates is it's like night and day. Because when you have a like nonverbal child, you're just guessing all the time. Like what does she want to eat? Is she hungry? Is she sleepy? What's her favorite food? If she's crying, where does it hurt? Like, does she have a fever or does she have a, like, it's like you're guessing all the time. And that takes a lot of energy from us.
You're making me feel
a lot of stress, a lot of energy, a lot of frustration. So I've lost so much of that frustration and stress now because she actually tells me. She tells me I'm hungry. She tells me where it hurts, and I'm so grateful for that. So even if she's never going to be fully, speaking like everyone else,
normal,
I'm grateful for where I am because I know, like you, I have contact with a lot of special needs moms, and I read about them having nonverbal children every day, every week, and it breaks my heart because I've been there.
Yeah, and there's actually so much more you can do. I think if I can really point it out very accurately, it's this. We expect our nonverbal, severely struggling child to totally become neurotypical grade normal. So if they're somewhere in between, we kind of either give up or we feel like it's not working or we are failing. And we don't get to experience the joy of the great things that she has done or he has done so far. We always look like, okay, she's behind, but she's actually a lot forward from where she was.
Yes. Looking where we started, I mean, the development has been amazing. Like everyone, like our friends and our family, they said it's not the same child anymore. It isn't.
Come to Young Living, the world of Young Living.
Yeah, that's what during my frantic research and my blog post, like reading blogs and articles and following moms, essential oils keep popping up. Like I used essential oils for this. I used my essential oil for my speech delayed child. I used it, and I just came to a point. I think then we were a year or 2 years into this journey. I don't remember. And then finally I was just like, what do I have to lose? Like I'm spending so much money on supplements and tests and chiropractor and you name it. I was like, what is like $150, $200? I was like, if it works, great. If it doesn't, so
I tried.
And then so I decided that I was going to try it. And then I asked friends that are in the health community, like, what are the best quality oils? Because I was like, I want the best quality if they're gonna work. And they all came back and said, oh, Young Living has the best quality. I was like, okay, great. So I know I'm going to try essential oils. I know what company. And then I was like, the next problem, I was like, I don't know anyone that sells Young Living. I was like, where am I going to get it?
Yeah.
But I was like, well, it's going to sort itself out. I'll solve that somehow. And then just like the universe, they give you what you ask for.
Because you have the faith, I'll solve it somehow.
Yeah, I was like, it's going to solve it. I'll figure it out. 2 weeks later or something like that. Somebody I follow, not a friend, but somebody I followed on Instagram just posted in her Instagram, like, I just started selling Young Living. Let me know if you want to buy. I was like, send me the link. Easiest sale ever.
Yeah.
I was her first customer.
Wow, so cute.
So I ordered a starter kit, which is a diffuser and 12.
Show us a little bit.
So it's like this. It's
Beautiful.
yeah, so it's a diffuser. It's you fill it with oils and water, and then there's a metallic plates that creates this mist.
Kind of thing.
So it doesn't heat it up, because if you heat up the oils, you change the therapeutical consistencies like in it.
Yeah.
And then there are many different not many, but they're different diffusers. So I just wanted oil. So I was just like, I just ordered the cheapest.
Mm-hmm.
I got this. And it took me like 2 weeks to even open the package, because I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. So I got these, and then there's 2 more under here.
Pretty cute.
And then when I opened it, I was like, well, maybe I should check it out. What did I order? So I checked it out, and I started using it. And it didn't, when I got the packet, like the kit, the starter kit, I was like, well, I'm not going to order every month, and I'm certainly not going to sell this stuff. It took 1 month, and then I was like, well, I kind of want everything, so I better be on that loyalty program. So I jumped on the loyalty program after a month, and then I was like, well, I'm not gonna sell that stuff. And then I loved it so much, so I talked to all my friends about it, and they said, I want one of those starter kits. I was like, you do? Well, I guess I can sell you one. So here I am.
That's how you did. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
while we were talking at the, before we started, you said like you have given yourself permission to take care of more of yourself these days.
yes.
So in the month of February, what we are doing here is we are celebrating self-love, self-care and self-love, because this is a month of, love. So how are you now taking care of yourself, and what actions or rituals or routines are making you feel like you are taking care of yourself? What are those gems?
So I went to a spa Monday with a friend that's also self-employed. So we were like, we're both free on Monday. We went to a day spa, had the best time. But that's not something you do like every day. But what we haven't implemented every day is my husband and I, now we wake up, and this is difficult for us because we're both night owls. So we like staying up late. But we try to wake up early, and then we work out every morning. And then we minimize like our we only drink coffee in the morning. We don't drink coffee like the rest of the day. We stopped snacking at night. Yeah, because we both had, like, my husband is very fit and thin, so he doesn't need to lose weight, but we still had bad habits. Like he wanted to get into like exercising, and I also felt that I've let myself down. So that's something we do every day, and it's also something that since we do it as a couple, it also brings us
closer to each other,
closer together. And things that we've always done, me and my husband, that I'm learning from friends that it's not that common, is that we always go to bed together, and we always like wake up together. So we always have that routine of going to bed together and waking up together. And then I talk to friends, and they're like, no, he goes to bed at 10. And I was like, I don't think I could fall asleep without my husband.
I cannot do that without him. I
like when he's away, I'm like laying there, I'm like, I can't fall asleep. Usually when he's away, I was like, kids, you can sleep in my bed. Because I can't sleep.
Oh, I do the same. So
I've started like and just implementing like the workout, and we don't work out a lot. It's like 10-15 minutes in the morning, but it's more the routine. Like doing it every day. And if it's only also 10-15 minutes in the morning, it's not like, oh, it's an hour, but we can still feel the effects. Like we really feel that, it's like, we're toning up. Yeah.
Wow. That's why I would say like you are my doppelganger. Like we have so much, how to say, like resonance with each other, how we think, how we function, how we use our work. Anyways, so I do have you did very generously have accepted our request to give special exclusive content to my students only. So now we are going to be wrap up from here, and then we are going to be going into the student portal. So do you have any last thought for our community here today? Would you give them some sort of like inspiration on the journey to start?
I think never give up. It's like, it's and healing is not linear, and healing takes time. Like I think my daughter was 5 when I started this journey, and she's 9 now. So it's only been 4 years, but she had 5 years when she was not, she was in that place with the neck and the gluten and the, all the things.
Being high, breaking things, being.
Yeah, so takes time to build. Takes time to build something up.
Yeah.
But like, my daughter is, she's talkative, like she's communicative, she's affectionate, she's curious, she has friends. She's like, the only things we're struggling with now are like speech delay, and that she also wears a diaper during night. But I know where I could have been, and I'm so grateful. And I think that's also celebrate the small gains.
Yeah.
They are important.
Remember where you came.
Yes.
Where you are not.
And I think because we forget so fast. And I think so I kind of document with my Instagram, because I write so much there. So I can go back and I can be like, oh my God, yeah, this is 2 years ago, or this is documents. Because me and my husband, we noticed that once she learns to do something, 2 weeks later, we take it for granted.
Yes. Yes.
It goes very fast. You take stuff for granted very fast. And I remember he was complaining about she didn't want to eat something, or she wanted to eat something or something. And I was like, and he was like, oh, she can't just eat that. I was like, you're talking to our daughter. She didn't used to eat anything. You would have been happy if she only wanted to eat rice 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Wow. I am going to be making this a must show, must listen, must see kind of thing for all of my students, because every single sentence that came out of your mouth just gonna be blowing and resonating so much with our students as well, and as well as our community. Thank you so much. I will leave all your links, Instagram, as well as if you have any discount codes for our community members, those details right under the description of this post. And everybody go give her a follow, because you will love her. You would love the things that she shares. She just shared recipes, her lifestyle, funny memes. Always makes me laugh.
Well, life is so serious. It's like, you have to laugh.
Yeah. So go give her a follow. You would definitely love her. She is at Linda KRAMER, right?
It's Linda KRAMER.
Linda KRAMER. It's Linda.
It's
KRAMER.
Linda KRAMER.
Okay. So let's wrap up our first half here, and let's just go on to getting the more juicy details inside our student portal. Allah Hafiz, everybody. Tata.